You know, you guys are not the only ones who turn out to watch the action happen down here at Black Point. This is the hill over here on the side of the boat ramp, and this is the type of crowd we see every single weekend down here waiting to see the action happen. But welcome back, crew, to the greatest show on earth, the Miami Boat Ramps channel. And here we go, we got our first crew coming in on approach today. So let's see how our guys fare. Bill and Cap's coming in a little up. There's a tow line behind him. So the reason he's coming in hot is because they're towing somebody in. So you can see Wifey's talking to the crew behind, and you can see the tow line hanging off the stern. And now the tow line is no longer tight, which means the other boat behind him's coming in hot with no way to stop, and they're heading toward their motors. So Cap kind of bails off, and they're gonna push off with their feet. Our guy jumps off on the front, but he needs a stern line back there to pull him around and get him stopped from going toward the other boat. So Wifey's coming down, I'm assuming, to try and remove the tow line. I mean, you guys had plenty of time. I can't believe they didn't have lines ready. This is the one that always confuses me, especially in a situation like this. They were getting towed in. They weren't doing anything. They weren't even driving the boat. Plenty of time to get all the lines you needed ready, unless perhaps they didn't have any lines because they were using everything they had to get towed in. But the crew winds up pulling it off, and the other Cap breaks free, and these guys are now on the dock. So our next crew, another one, coming in a little bit hot today, as he's got the throttle on it, and they're starting to turn in toward the dock, but they're gonna drift a little bit, and he's gonna have to try and turn this one back around and bow back in onto the dock. So they've got their crew over on the port side of the boat, so I'm assuming that's what we're looking at is a port side dock. Cap gets that bow back around, heading toward the dock, and one line's all I see right this second, even though we've got two people standing on the gun. Oh, no, there's a second line, sorry. But Cap can't seem to get the boat over there. It's kind of stalled out on them. They go for the reach, one hand on the pole, but they can't get the stern around. Our girl goes for the first toss, misses. Toss number two, that's not gonna work, just tossing it across the dock. And she goes for a third one. No way, bro. It's not working at all. And I don't know what in the world this crew is thinking or trying. So the one thing I can tell you for sure is the wind and current is pulling them to the right. So what they should be doing is just let it do that. Let the wind and current do it. And Cap finally realizes it. He's like, hey bro, it's gonna push us into this dock. Let's go ahead and switch the plan up. This is why you always stop and check before you approach the dock. As you're trying to figure out what you're gonna do docking wise, take a few seconds, see which way the wind and current's going, and try and pick the path of least resistance. Let the boat do what it wants to do. That is definitely the easiest way to come in and try and dock and save yourself a little frustration and a little headache, but this crew's got it figured out now, and they should be good to go from here. Man, I don't know what it is up with everybody today, but everybody's coming in hot on these docks, and I think it's got to do with the wind and current. It's going left to right across the screen, so as they're coming out of the channel, not only are they rolling in at that idle speed, they've got the wind and current pushing them as well. So our crew making their approach. So we got a fender out, we got some lines on the ready. And our guy almost stumbles, he almost goes down. Cap winds up turning the wheel. I thought our girl was gonna step off the gunnel and get onto the dock, but she did not. And now our guy who stumbled has a hand on the dock, trying to wrestle it over as he's gonna jump over. He got really lucky though. For a minute there, I thought he was taking a swim on this one. Is Cap in reverse? Cap's trying to get that stern back around, and they're struggling to get it over. I believe our girl who's on the gunnel had a good shot to get off of this a little earlier, but she decided to hold on, but it works out in the end, and they're able to get the vessel brought back over and ready to roll. So our crew's got everybody on the ready here as they're approaching the dock. Cap's trying to take it a little bit easy. I don't see any lines in anybody's hands though, just hands out. as they're going to try and grab the dock. Even Cap leaves the helm to jump in on the action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people all reaching out to hold on to the dock, and then finally another guy reaches his hand out as well. No lines whatsoever, just the human version of lines to get everything pulled over, and Cap is not happy about something. I don't know what's going on, but he is fired up about something. I'm not sure what, though. So crew comes in, looks good, going slow. We've got a guy on the dock who's helped out, grabbed a line for him, and now grabbed 2 lines for him. So the Good Samaritan's holding on to the... Are they in reverse? So Cap leaves the helm, but this boat is going backwards. I got a feeling he left it in gear. I'm almost positive he left it in gear now. So he's going to grab the lines, but his crew's drifting away on him because he left early. So whenever you're going to leave the boat, one thing's for sure, I would go ahead and make sure it's not in gear. In fact, I would probably kill the motors. If I'm the captain and I'm getting off, there's no reason to leave those engines on, and even leave the possibility that one of the crew that's on the boat could accidentally just bump into the throttle. And now they're going to fight to get this thing over. So in on approach, we've got our guy in the bow with a line on the ready. Man, he goes up onto the gunnel, goes for the leap, walks it up. Cap brake checks it, pulling him back. And our guy's trying to pull it back toward the dock now as they're drifting backwards. And, oh, he's got to be careful. Cap, he's working on it, but he's going to get himself stuck, where that boat's going to drift around the end of the dock, and they're going to be on the end of it instead of where they want to be. So they're trying to slowly walk it up, but like now they're kind of stuck where they're at. There you go, Cap. Just a bump of forward gear would probably get him into the position he wants to be in. And now that he's got a guy on the dock, they can slowly walk it up. So the old jet boat crew coming in on approach. So we've only got 1 line. At least it's in the spot I would put it if I was only using 1, which is on the mid-cleat. The easiest way to get it pulled over if you're only using 1 line. So he goes for the leap. Cap kind of turns in. He's got to push him off or they're going to wind up hitting the dock. He grabs the tower last second and is able to hold him off. And they'll walk this one right on up, and they should be good to go. And speaking of good to go, we're going to go ahead and get out of here as well. Thanks for watching, crew. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Miami Boat Ramps. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlet. My channel, Broncos Guru, do some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we got Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.